All I'm saying is I really hope that BUZZmod continues these and starts giving us some demon figures, because I can think of a few right off the top of my head that I would really love to enjoy posing getting beheaded. What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the BUZZmod Kimetsu no Yaiba, or Demon Slayer, Zenitsu figure. And as you guys know, if you do know, Zenitsu's my favorite character. Even though I know a lot of the fandom doesn't really care for him, I absolutely love Zenitsu. So I am super stoked for this figure. Now, without me rambling on too early into the review, let's go ahead and take a look at that sexy packaging so we can dive into the figure. Diving right into the sexy packaging, it's pretty much the same thing that we've been getting since the release of Tanjiro. It's the rather big box, but I think it fits with all the accessories that you get. I think this is probably the best they could do. It does say Aniplex right there at the top, Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba, BUZZmod, 112 Zenitsu Agatsuma. I didn't even know that was his last name. But yeah, you got the window packaging with the figure, of course, and a ton of accessories. At the bottom, you got the same information down here. You've got him doing his thunder breathing, which I love. At the top, it says BUZZmod once again. You got some design right there. I don't know what that is. Probably just to take up space. At the bottom, same thing pretty much. On the side, says Demon Slayer, BUZZmod. On this side, same thing. Then, of course, on the back, you do have a ton of poses you can get the figure into, as well as a ton of legal stuff that I absolutely cannot read because I don't know Japanese. Now, for the people who are wondering where I got this from, I will say with every one of these releases, I just picked them up on eBay. It's easier for me to do it that way. And normally, if you get them as soon as they release, you can find them for right around the price point that they're going to be selling them on other websites like Aniplex, Crunchyroll. You can get them for right around that same price as long as you jump on them as soon as they release, and that's what I always do. So for the people that want to know, there's your information. Now let's go ahead and bust this figure out because I'm ready to see what it's all about. And now, after the worldwide release of Demon Slayer Mugen Train, we do have our third addition to the line, Zenitsu. And I just want to say thank you to Koyoharu Sensei for creating Demon Slayer. It's just so well written, and it's just an absolutely outstanding anime. One where you actually empathize with the villains, and I love that. Or sympathize. I think I said empathize, but you sympathize with the villains, and by the time each arc is over, you care about the villains almost as much as you care about the main characters. And that has all the qualities of a very good anime. But back to Zenitsu, who, as I said earlier, is my favorite character. This figure is probably about 90% reuse, but it makes sense because of the costumes that they wear in Demon Slayer. They pretty much wear the same clothing. But this head sculpt, though, this is definitely Zenitsu for sure. I don't know what made them do like his eyes looking to the side, but it doesn't bother me. I always love getting different kinds of expressions. He's got this peaceful smile on his face. You can tell this is probably when he's looking at Nezuko or when he's just enjoying being around his friends. Even in the eyes, if you look close enough, you can see that they capture the style of Demon Slayer. Like, they're not just circles. They've got shape to them. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that, but just go look up some Demon Slayer artwork and you'll see that their eyes actually have this weird shape to them. But it makes it to where, like, it's diverse from other anime, so I dig that. But anyway, all the way around, like, the hair on this guy looks good. The sculpt work is there. The paint work is there. I've got some flakes on mine. I hope these come off. They probably will. Yeah, it's coming off. I don't know if that happened in the factory or what, but yes, still, the body, once again, it's Tanjiro. I think it's just repainted. I'll show them side by side a little bit later on in the review, and then we'll be able to tell. But they got the skin tone right, which is one thing that I am happy about too. Tanjiro was a little yellow, so I'm hoping at some point they will re-release an updated version of him, and I'll show him off once again in a sec so you guys can see what I mean when these two are side by side. But this is great. I love this, man. There's not a whole lot of detailing in the paint or anything like that. For the most part, it's one solid color in every area except for the hair and then the shin guards. I guess that's what these are. As you can see, it fades from like this light yellow to almost a goldish color. But that's his outfit, and so I really love how they painted everything on here. You've got the triangles and everything, but this just looks really good, man. This is awesome. BUZZmod is killing it, and I'm so glad that they are, because there's just so much to like about these figures. But anyway, I've gone on about the details enough. I was probably fanboying a little much. Let's go ahead and put him back so we can see how tall he stands. Now, for the height of Zenitsu to the top of his head, as you guys can see, he's just shy of 5.5 inches, which makes sense. He's going to be shorter than your average 1/12 figures because of the fact he is a kid. I believe he's only 14 or 15, so they did a great job with that. I'm happy. Now, here they are side by side, Tanjiro and Zenitsu. First off, I have to say that these just look really good together, but for the comparison, as you can see, Zenitsu is definitely a few shades lighter than Tanjiro. I wish they would have dialed it down just a little bit on Tanjiro's color, which is why, once again, I'm hoping that they re-release this figure just with an updated look. I will totally buy it. I would understand if some people won't just because of the price. But other than that, it's just about the same thing. The shins are completely different for obvious reasons. And then the only other differences between these, I think, are the fact that Tanjiro, if you look at his clothing, it's a little bit darker, a little bit more vibrant as well, while Zenitsu's is kind of faded. And then the same with the whites on him. Like if you see, this is white on Tanjiro, his belt, his collar, and then this piece right here, it's a little bit faded on Zenitsu. Still doesn't look bad at all, but it is something to take notice of. Articulation wise, Zenitsu only looks up about that much, which makes sense because the back of the neck is being touched by the hair, so really at that point you'd be forcing it if you tried to push it anymore. But he looks down very, very well. You can tilt his head almost all the way down. He does get tilt out of the peg that's in the neck and also the neck. So you can move his head around very easy. His arms go up and out about that much. I don't like this gap in here. I said that with the Tanjiro figure, but that gap does allow for crazy articulation. So swinging his sword is not going to be difficult at all. There's no actual bicep swivel, but there is swivel built in if you utilize it. As far as the elbows, it's only single jointed. They can come in pretty far, but some people might want further than that. It doesn't bother me because with all the range of movement you get here, you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. Now, as far as his hands go, they are on this hinge and they move in and out, no problem. You can move them in, but they will be hindered by this piece right here, which that can't be helped. So it makes sense. That's at the end of the sleeve. Now, as far as the torso, he does get very, very good range. He can lean forward that much. He can lean back. Let's see. I think he goes a little bit further. Let's see. Yeah, he can lean back about that much. But you got to watch this piece right here because it's a floating piece. So it just, depending on how you have it, it can look weird. But you can get all kinds of like tilt and turn. No problem at all. So fighting poses, they're just gonna come easy with this guy. Mine's a little squeaky, so I might need to put this in some hot water. But yeah, the crouch piece is a floating piece as always. He can kick forward that much, so very, very far. He can kick out pretty much all the way. He does have a built-in thigh swivel. As far as the knees go, they only bend about that much, which is why they threw in an accessory that is dope. I mentioned this with Tanjiro, but I have to mention it with him as well. They threw in an accessory for bended knees in case you do want to get further, and I'll show you that later. But yeah, that is there. You do have a swivel right here, so posing this guy is going to work. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Complete ankle rocker and toe hinge. So this guy's articulation, I've got to give it to him. I don't like these arms, but still, articulation wise, it might not be a 10 out of 10, but it's definitely a 9. One thing I didn't notice until I put this guy back and started messing with the accessories, this right here is actually a separate piece. So when you move the head, you can also move that. And if you want to pose it, you totally can. So just thought I'd let you guys know that because I did forget it. Moving on to the accessories, I do believe that he probably comes with the most accessories out of all the Demon Slayer figures we've gotten so far. Starting off, he does come with this expression on his face where he's kind of looking to the side. He's got that smile and just a pair of relaxed hands. He comes with a pair of open palm hands, like he's reaching, grabbing, or even getting ready to attack. He comes with a pair of sword holding hands. He comes with a pair of fist hands. And then he also comes with a pair of pointing fingers. So all necessary hands. Now, as far as the faces go, I know for a fact he comes with more face plates than any of the others. Normally they come with 3. He actually comes with 4. So that includes this one, of course. But he comes with like this kind of scared, nervous expression, which that is totally him. But the next one is definitely him. This can be used for when he's afraid, angry, shouting, whatever you want to use it for. Going off on Tanjiro about Nezuko, talking to Chuntaro about being afraid of chasing demons. You can use this face for a lot. This is probably Zenitsu 90% of the time. And then you do get a faceplate for when he is in super dope attack mode. And this is when he is using his thunder breathing, getting ready to strike down whoever is in his path. And I'm all for this. I'm going to use this a lot. Now, one thing I mentioned in the last segment was the fact that he came with alternate knees. So if you wanted to pose him bending his knee even more, you actually can utilize these. Tanjiro came with these as well, but basically you can use these to have him sitting or kneeling if you want him to. But if you want him in attack mode with a full knee bend, you just pop this foot right here off, and that's it. You plug his foot right in here, and then you can utilize it as if he's in an attack pose. So that is something that I believe is very, very creative, and I'm going to praise that every single time they throw that in. Now, if you wanted to pose him sitting, you do get this floor mat as well, or I guess that's what it's called. It's almost like a cushion, but yeah, and it even has like indents for you to show, or for it to show you how to pose him when he's sitting on it. So that's creative too. They could have just gave us the mat and left it alone, but they didn't, so I dig that. Of course, you do get his jacket, and I love the fact that they go with fabric on these. That is probably why I am going to like these more than the Figma releases, because these, when they release in Figma, are going to look great. I'm not denying that. But the blocky look with the jackets, just so bulky, all that plastic really bothers me. So I'm going to enjoy this for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to love the Figmas, I can guarantee. But these, I just feel like, are perfect. Now, he also gets an alternate hairpiece, and this one comes with Chuntaro on top of it, who is always talking trash to him, even though he doesn't speak English. And Tanjiro usually has to translate, but for the most part, he can tell when he's being degraded, and I love this. I really wish we would have came with an extra Chuntaro, one where he's just not like on top of his head, because this is glued on. You can actually see the glue if the light hits it properly, but you can't take this off. Well, you probably can, but I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, you do get that. And then the best part, you get 2 swords. One where it's fully sheathed. You can just pop this piece out right here in case you want him to be holding the sword, or if you just want it to be plugged into his belt without being holstered, you can do that. You do get his sword as well, which looks super sick. You can actually see the lightning designs on him. Everything about this is dope. I love this. And it's actually like a grayish color right here, but behind the lightning, it's black. I dig that a lot. You do get an extra handle that has lightning on it. And man, this is dope. This is what I really, really like. And as if that wasn't enough, you also get 2 lightning effects. Now, these are similar to the ones that you get if you buy the Bandai versions. They almost feel like they're kind of the same mold, just a little bit smaller. But apparently you attach these at the feet, and these look really dope. They feel like a fragile plastic, so I'd say be careful with them. But it's still cool that we got these. And just a ton of accessories with this guy. So in that department, I'm super satisfied. Now here's a quick look of him with his jacket on. And I feel like this is a much better look than Tanjiro. I don't know why. Maybe the material's definitely not any different, so that's not going to change anything. But I feel like it's like more of a snug fit. I don't know. Something about him in his jacket looks better than Tanjiro. Maybe it's the design. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Something just looks a little bit better. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it looks fine on both. But I don't know. Something about Zenitsu just looks better to me. Moving on to some size comparisons, here he is standing next to his team members, Tanjiro Kamado and Nezuko Kamado. And this makes me really happy, man. And even happier to know that Inosuke's on the way. I think Rengoku's going to be coming next and then Inosuke, but still, to know we're going to have the main four, that just makes me so happy. These look so good together, and I'm loving how efficient BUZZmod is with the releases of these. Like, these things are coming quick. I love it. I really do. Next up, here he is standing next to a Revoltech My Hero Academia Deku or Izuku Midoriya, the Figma Attack on Titan Eren Yeager, and the SH Figuarts Jujutsu Kaisen Yuji Itadori. Lastly, for some extras I just had laying around, we do have the Jazzwares Fortnite 8-Ball, the Mafex or Metacom Toys, Avengers Infinity War Captain America, and the Hasbro movie Deadpool. Now, all in all, when it comes to this figure, I have nothing to complain about, simply because, for one, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. If you have Tanjiro, then you know exactly what you're going to get when it comes to this figure. A new head sculpt, a new jacket, a new sword, and some different shins. Other than that, same exact figure with a few new accessories. And that's what it's supposed to be. And that's why I love it, because we got exactly what we were supposed to get. BUZZmod is really, really doing it big, and I'm glad that they are. I'm glad to see that someone is capitalizing off of the success of Demon Slayer, and in a good way, because Demon Slayer's killing it right now. Season 2's about to air. Mugen Train was #1 in Japan for the longest. It tied, or it actually beat out Mortal Kombat's numbers here in America, releasing on the same weekend. The freaking game is coming in, I believe, October and November. Demon Slayer's on top of the world, and Koyoharu Sensei is just probably just sitting in a pile of money, enjoying her life right now, and she deserves every bit of it. I love it. I'm all for it. And guys, I gotta say, if you have the other figures, there's no reason for you not to add this one to your collection. You can say, yeah, I want to go ahead and get the Figma because it's cheaper, yada, yada, yada. Cool. But I would at least have both, see which one that you like more, and then keep that one. Because it's going to suck for anyone who's like, oh, I'm going to wait for the Figma. You get the Figma, and then it's not to your liking, so you want to try the BUZZmod version, and then the BUZZmod version is $300, and that's the cheapest you can find it. I've seen it happen, guys. Pick up this figure. I know 100 and whatever is pretty expensive. I think I paid $125, but right now I think the lowest is about $155 from what I've seen. But hey, I'll happily do it again. If I had to pay $150, I'd pay $150. I paid $175 for Tanjiro. I think I paid about $130 for Nezuko. I love this anime to the point that it doesn't really matter to me. And since I'm not spending this amount of money on any other line that I collect, it's not hurting my pockets too much. If it's too much for you, then I understand. But if you can, pick up this figure, guys. I really, 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 really recommend it. I think the more of these you have, the more you will enjoy them. I took a ton of photos of this guy as well as the rest of them. So anyway, that being said, I don't want to ramble on. I do hope you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day and stay safe wherever you are. Bye.